It's a 16-star showdown. I invited everyone. You better not miss it. Now who's ready to play? All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another 16 Star Showdown match. This one's going to be a real doozy as we have Kano, Cheese, and Gamiru, all invites in this one bracket. Alongside them, we have Two Porridge, LXQ, Zach, and Von Jim. Von Jim was a little late. I do have to continue to edit that. He just now joined, and I had to do that. But without any further ado, I would like to introduce my co-com, Electric. How are you doing, my man?
Doing great. Really excited to see this matchup. I mean, 16 star is one of these categories that in any kind of race setting, it's already a really interesting treat to watch. But this isn't your normal everyday race, folks. This is a leaderboard race where we're going to be seeing who can get the best time over the leaderboard during these 99 minutes. And this sort of format is still fairly new. And I think runners are still kind of trying to get their bearings on what exact pace is going to be resettable, what exact pace is going to be continuable. And I'm just really excited to see what final times we end up seeing from these runners because this is just it has the potential for some really, really intriguing things to happen, and especially some runners to get some insane times early on, only to be matched right at the last minute. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, exactly. And you put it really well there when you said, it goes to the very end and they have to the last minute. And we have seen that multiple times in this entire tournament that it is down to that final. It isn't over until that final run is done because people have been sniped out of third place. People have gotten extra spots up on the PB leaderboard there. You see at the bottom middle of your screen. And I have to actually change all that names. That is something I didn't do. Trying to stay on schedule today. But yeah, it's going to be a great day for matches. It's going to be awesome, and I'm very excited to have all these runners going. I told them the countdown was going to be right about now, and I'll go ahead and give it to them. I think everybody is ready. Let me just check. But looking at this, we have 3 invites here, so obviously you kind of expect them to put in their hat as far as like moving on to the next round. But looking at the other 3, what do you think about these other 3 competitors? What are you looking at? What do you expect to see?
Oh, I think that for these other competitors, they're going to have a hard choice ahead of them over whether they want to really try to max things out, since they know that they're going to be trying to play for a spot that's against people that are going to play a little ahead of their curve. So I think you're going to see some people that will really try to just wild out with their strats, really just go for the most optimized thing that they're remotely comfortable with, and just see what happens. But I think that we're also going to see some people really try to make sure that they get at least one great attempt out, even if it's not like the perfect attempt of what they want. I think we're going to see with this lower half, we'll see at least one person. I feel like kind of continue more attempts than you might think they should. Maybe continue things that lose a little bit of time in womps, but just under that sort of assumption that what they're really needing is just a time and not like the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. They just need something really solid. They're not looking to get anything perfect. Yeah, no PB attempts necessarily. And we'll see what they got. I'm trying to find Gamiru's or Kano's timer. I don't know where it went. Kano, what are you doing to me? We'll get Kano's audio.
There we go. We just need the first split, right?
We just need the first split. It might have changed out the layout on me. I definitely had his timer up there. I don't know. I'll find it again. Thankfully, the video feed didn't change. He is the main one we have on screen here. But it's going to be great. We've seen some strategies from some runners as far as, completing runs early and not. And I think completing at least one run early is very beneficial. You see at least the entire run, maybe some pain points and stuff, and you're not like seeing new things as you continue on into the day as it be.
Right. And it also gives you that assurance of like you've got a time on the leaderboard and you don't have that continuous stress of every run needing to try to finish so that you can finally get a time on the leaderboard, but also it gives you a good point of comparison. Because from once you get one run out and you have one completed time, that's an instant litmus test. Like, is this run that I'm on right now better or worse than this first run that I got? And if it's worse, reset instantly. The decision was made for you. So it certainly is a good decision to just give yourself a nice little baseline to compare against, so you don't feel like you're having to compare against like some arbitrary goal time.
Exactly, exactly. It's going to be a great day for races. I'm just super excited to get everything going. First runs, we got Kano on the reset, Gamiru taking up the spot. Cheese is in there as well. Vanjin
Oh,
Zaki.
she's getting bodied by that Goomba. Was on some pretty decent pace beforehand.
Yeah, it's kind of bouncing around with the eyes. A lot going on.
The 6-man layout certainly gives you a lot to have to process, but lots of intriguing racing action. And once we get past these first couple of runs, we're going to be seeing a lot more runners in this Dark World Womp sort of limbo. So ultimately, we won't have quite as much to focus on a little bit later down the line. And Bowser not choosing to dance today, but nice little one spin from Cheese there. I'm not sure if this is Cheese or if this is someone else's camera now, but
Gamiru is on the main screen right here. Yeah. Cheese top right. You see the 6-man, right? That's what you're seeing.
Right now I'm only seeing the Gamiru, I think, is the only one I'm seeing. I only see one person so far.
Okay, I'll have to look at the Discord thing. Stream definitely sees all 6. So I'll look at the Discord setting. Yeah, Gamiru pacing into Womps. Cheese did take that reset.
Unfortunate, but once you start seeing some significant damage early on, and being 16 star, you just may as well go ahead and reset, and not waste that 16 minutes trying to get a time that is already pretty dampened after the first major star.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
And a nice cannonless.
Yeah, Gamir sounded happy about that.
Let's see what happens here with the rest of Womps as we've got, let's see, Porridge on LBLJ, Kano just getting out of Dark World, and then Von Jim also along with Gamiru and Womps here. Let's see how Gamiru's Alice goes here. It looked like a good double jump Alice jump there.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And I do apologize. You're seeing my transition screens. I don't know why you're seeing that through Discord. You're not seeing the main feed.
Not
perhaps.
a problem. I'm seeing the main feed now, at least. So.
Yeah. Maybe if I share my virtual camera, help you out there.
I think that's actually bigger on my screen now too.
Sweet. All right, Cocom's got everything going. I will get the leaderboards all set up for you. But yeah, looking really good here out of Womps. Be our first runner here in basements. Zach not too far behind.
Yeah, best of luck with Pillarless though. Always a nail biter of a trick for sure. And especially in 16 star, where you're effectively forced to go for Tama Plus if you want any significant time save with a star. I mean, you could do single jump plus, but if you're going to be wilding out with a strat like this, why go slow?
Exactly. You got to go for everything you have. As Gamira misses the grab,
just punches right beside him, showing off those melee hitboxes and just not quite connecting with the bomb.
Yeah, it's all good. Got at least one other try.
Thankfully, your backup stars here aren't too devastating, especially Talon Star. Like, Talon Star actually works really, really well as a backup for this. All right, and we've got a nice Tama regrab there. That looks like a good attempt. There it is. Nicely done from Gamiru. Having to wait a little bit on the pyramid for that last ground pound, but that's always infuriating when you get lined up perfectly, but then you press the buttons just wrong and you don't get a ground pound. And then you have to wait for Mario to slide back down before you can try again.
Yeah, all the time loss in the world, it feels like when you're actually in that position.
And like, you're so close that it's just like, come on, game, let me in, please. The Demir gets a nice fly guy less, and we're going to be moving right on along to Lethal Lava Land in just a moment here. This kind of advances on into basement himself here. God, what pristine castle movement. You can definitely tell which players have gone on some serious 14 grinds just based on like how heavily optimized they've gotten with the castle movement. Especially that castle movement getting into SSL. Like you watch someone like Kano and they're hugging that wall the whole time, making it look easy, but any other runner will tell you that like those walls will stick to Mario like in random situations it feels like sometimes. And you'll just lose all your momentum trying to go around the corner sharply.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, Mario does like to like magnet to those walls. You like rub one and he's stuck. Losing like half a second to a second like so easily. And he
It's so weird because like visually it looks like you should just slide right past the wall, but nope. Escamiro, nice side hop here, nicely done. And kind of having some issues. I think that was with Plus there, having to go back over and do some pretty out of the way backup movement there.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll see. We'll see. Once some times are on the board, we'll definitely have a nice bar for these runners to be reaching. But for now, Gamiru trying to set that bar.
And we got Gamir and Vonjim as the leaders of the pack in their runs right now, but kind of close behind with a nice pillarless coming out.
Yeah, that's a burn from
not quite jumping
Vonjim.
up to the star.
Oh, Kano having issues. Oh, everyone's having issues. Kano bonking below the star.
It all started with one missed double jump, and then from there it just really spiraled in the pyramid. That's always so unfortunate to see.
Yeah, that was really sad from Kano there. Gamiru having a really nice Lethal Lava Land, though. Yeah, and Vonjim, like you were saying earlier, not far behind.
And just, going a little bit too early on that elevator platform. Nicely done backing that up and reacting. Like, Vonjim there did ultimately lose a few seconds on that star, but that was filled with some really, really good reactions to, like all the weird stuff happening there, especially with that fire bar. Because I think after you're having to deal with the, like, nervousness of having to back up the triple jump, you're not really thinking to yourself, wait a minute, the fire bar's in a different position. And you saw there, it was right in his way, but he still managed to go ahead and slow Mario down and pull off that strat pretty successfully. Like, once you get to this level, like all of these runners are really, really adept to a lot of the random stuff that can come up in these runs. And even though like we talk about players like Vonjim being a little bit of an underdog in comparison to Kano or Cheese, like these are still extremely capable runners.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, these runners, like you said, you get to this point in your career in this game and you know so much about the physics, about like strafing and the momentum and how much you need for like the triple jumps and all that stuff. It really does become like you like become the Mario in a way. You understand it to such a degree. You know what's gonna happen. You can take risks too, and you're like, yeah, I deserve that. Like you kind of have a good idea.
And it'll blow your mind too, like the little thing, the decisions you'll make as part of a muscle memory. Like I've had times where I'm in the middle of a star, something happens, and I just make a decision to do a thing, and then seconds later I'm like, wait a minute, how did I know that was what I was supposed to do there? But then like you think about it and you've seen that situation like 20, 30 plus times in practice before. And so like you've made that decision so many times previously that it just comes automatically to you. Like it's so much about getting really good at this game is just building up that like intrinsic knowledge of like when a thing happens to Mario, how do you instantly react to it? But speaking of one of those times, Gamiru unfortunately missing the punch grab on Mips here. I feel like Mips clip going fast on a strat like this is a big demonstration of like exactly what we're talking about, because you're going to end up in a different position coming up to the door every time. And like if you have to sit there and think about what you need to do, that's going to take longer than just look at Gamiru there. Really, really nice accounting with the camera work there. One of the really underrated things from viewers on that, I feel like, is the camera manipulations you have to do. Because managing the camera and getting the right camera angle to make that clip easy on yourself is really, really challenging, especially since you don't just have a stick to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. The
But
camera work for Mips Clip is like almost everything. You get like that slight angle. You have to like get your angle like right at that door properly, and when it's off like in that corner and you have to manipulate it back, like you really do have to know exactly what's gonna happen, what to do, lab out, all that stuff in practice. And these runners have put in the time, and they're displaying that right now. Gamir going for front sub.
here we go, lining up with that one little light bulb at the top.
Oh no.
Missing the later jump.
Okay, not the worst thing ever, but definitely, yeah, eating some lag. It's just free time loss.
There it goes.
Okay, get on it. I guess
The
just
second try is not too bad.
yeah, it looked like he hit A little too soon and just didn't jump. So it definitely does happen. A little iffy here on the Mips Clip and DDD. See how this Fire Sea goes. Looking for this pole glitch. No, but misses that one too.
A little bit too far forward on that one. When you fully bonk on the pole like that, you were, if you want to say it one way, you jumped too early, quote unquote. Because that's such a hard, precise thing that, like, those that don't know, what you're trying to do specifically there is like rub the edge of that ceiling with Mario's head. And it has to be the edge of the ceiling. If you touch the ceiling itself, you don't actually get the pole glitch teleport. It has to be the edge of the ceiling. So the game's physics engine is kind of wonky, and when you hit the edge of something, sometimes properties of a ceiling above or a floor below that thing will happen as well. So that's what happens there. You touch the edge of the ceiling, you get hung on the ceiling that's way above you. But like
Yeah.
you just jump a little bit too early and you just get a complete bonk instead, and it really even makes just getting the early elevator cycle at all harder.
Okay, Gamir, a really big throw there, but you're right. It is it's super precise and good point out with the ceiling. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the pole. We just happen to like fall onto the pole once we get that glitch. But yeah, it's that hangable ceiling in that little cage. Allows us to catch like such an early cycle. And Gamir didn't catch that cycle, but had a decent Fire Sea other than that. 13:30 exits. Let's see what the time is here. Definitely still 15 capable, which is pretty crazy after, you know, kind of messing up this last section. Miss Clip, DDD, and Fire Sea. Need some good BLJs. Yeah, ooh, Kauna doesn't get it either.
A little bit of a scuff setup, and actually was going for it as a third back at that time and got it. Like there's a lot of that movement going up to pole glitch is really precise too. Like I haven't messed with it personally, but from what I understand, it gets down to like whether or not you get dust on rollouts will make a difference as to whether or not you hit pole glitch. And so like, you have to be very, very particular with your setup and watch very carefully for what exactly happens. That was such a clean entry from Gamiru. Such a clean BLJ entry there. Like that seems to have gotten a lot more common recently. And that takes a almost perfect lineup on that endless staircase in order to get right into the hole like that.
It absolutely does. And Gamir having amazing BLJs. That was not Manimo cycle. We went for like the safe triple jump. So nice normal cycle here.
And the moving right side coming out. And it's good. Let's go. Let's see what this elevator movement has in store. Pretty comfy stuff. Describing that triple jump as comfy is a little bit off, but for these runners, it kind of is. In the pipe, let's see it happen. We've got a 15-4X still possible with a good throw.
Yeah, Kamiru pulling it out here. Only had that one little bad section that we saw. Fire Sea being the biggest one and taking a bonk.
On Bowser.
Yeah, that's going to make it a little closer. Needs to hit all three throws if he wants the 15. And that's going to be one. Playing with the fire as well, and that's going to be a miss. Okay, we'll see if the 15 is still alive. It might be. Just needs to grab this last throw. Alright, that's good.
I think that might barely be a 15.
We'll see. It's right at it. I don't know. First run of the day.
59 or a 16 flat. Like that's you can't get much closer than that. 57.
Yeah, 57.
All right.
Alright, we'll swap over to Kano as he is also in bits. Only had one reset.
And I think very comparable pace to Gamira as well.
All right, Kana coming up to the right
Kana,
side.
let's see how this movement goes here. Oh, goes a little bit too far right, too early there. So easy for that to happen when you're going for these setups, like right on the edge of these blocks like that.
Yeah, you just play with the edge. You're right there on the razor. And Kano walking the line with the triple jump. And it looks like this will be entering a little after Gamiru. Yeah, won't be able to get that 15, but low 16 capabilities here.
I mean, certainly a great starting time. And this is also the run with a lot of tragic stuff in SSLs. I'm sure that Kano really is just finishing this out just to have a time on the board. But, I mean, honestly, like, this is still a really, really nice time just generally.
Ooh.
Especially for, like, just a no reset. A little bit too antsy with that early regrab there.
But yeah, definitely getting a good time on the board. Kano's going to be at least happy about that. You know, I think these runners are definitely going for a 15. But early on, having a low 16, 16-14 as it is, not a bad thing at all. Kind of talking about that earlier, just getting runs going, finish one or two. But let's look over to,
like, now that you've got
Zaki here. Go for it.
And now that you've got this 16-14 finish, you know, it definitely gives you a lot more room to be comfortable resetting whenever things just start to go wrong. Because, you know, I think if you don't have a time on the leaderboard at all, and you just keep resetting over and over, you can start to get in your head that, like, maybe I should continue something that's got 10 or 15 seconds of time lost. But Kano already has the run that would result at the end of that. You know, so I think we're going to see Kano be a little bit more reset heavy for quite a while here.
Yeah, we'll see. Zach keeping us entertained at least for now.
Keeping the late game pace alive while the majority of these runners are lobby friends. Just kind of stuck in the various phases of Womps and Dark World. Oh, and Alex Cusack just barely not getting full glitch. Kind of what we were talking about earlier, where, like, if you don't get it but you undershoot it instead, you just fall right under, like what happened to Zach there.
Yeah, really, really horrible, and it's not going to make it up. I don't think it was possible even if he got that speed kick, but not great fire seas so far on the main screen. Not sure what Kano's looked like. Oh, no, we do. Yeah, he missed the pole glitch as well, so we haven't seen a single one.
It's kind of rare to not see any early cycles. I mean, it looks like all these runners are going to be going for pole glitch, which is kind of expected. It does allow you to save that nice bit of time by doing the ultimate ending, but doing safe fire C is relatively trivial for runners of this caliber. If you're wanting just a fast early elevator cycle at all. So it's definitely kind of interesting seeing that out of the three runners who kind of get past there, none of them have been able to get that at all.
That is a bit surprising. We'll see. Still early in the day, maybe some nerves going. Definitely a lot more chances. Yeah, 13:30. Looks about right at Gamiru's pace jumping out of Fire Sea here. So definitely 15.
Let's see how these BLJs go. Because Gamir's BLJs are definitely going to take a little bit of effort to match.
That is true. He had some really good BLJs. Did miss a throw, so not super duper tight. We'll see what LXQ's got. Quick little Bowser dance. Was that 10% supposedly? I got it twice in a row the other day. Allegedly? Yeah, allegedly. I got twice in a row the other day. First time that's ever happened to me.
Just every once in a while, but Zach having to take a little reset there. Yeah, probably gonna have to go ahead and do one more set and see if they're able to make it through on this one. There's a catch at least. Okay, there we go. That should be. There we go.
Getting. Hold on.
So iffy when, like, you barely have the speed right when you hit that 50 star door. Zach finally getting the catch on the endless staircase. It's not quite as clean as Gamir's BLJ's, unfortunately, but still, I think on possible combat pace.
All right. Sorry about that. My headset just died on me. Or, like, freaked out. I got a little worried, but we're all good. Just the headset. Yeah, come on. Right side. Zach, take an awkward camera angle. Probably a little squeeze.
It must have been. Little accidental R presses are rare, but when they happen, oh boy, they really get in your way. Having to take some extra comfy elevator movement was just a little bit late to take the fast movement.
Yeah. All right. LXQ on 16 pace. Not Gamiru bot, but should be able to bop Kana if he's got what it takes on these throws. Needing 3 for 3 here. Ooh, that's nice.
Let's see it.
Maybe.
Nice one.
Okay.
Gotta just get one more. And spin him around. There it is. Nicely done. That was a laser accurate third throw.
Yeah, did take a extra one spin on each throw. So we'll see what the time ends up being. So close to Kano. Third run finished. Is that going to do it? 12-13 is going to be the new second place time.
So now Zach can officially say that in a tournament event, at least briefly, he was ahead of Kano. And that's all,
right.
That's all that he wants for this takeaway, I'm sure, right?
That's all you need. What else do you need?
That's all I'd want if I were in their shoes, you know? Like, I was ahead of Kano. It gives me the nice bragging rights. I was ahead of Kano for a little bit. for 2 minutes back in 2022 on one leaderboard.
That's no big deal.
No big deal. It happens to everyone, right?
Yeah, some nice.
Gamir having a little bit of a spill on side hop as they're trying to beat their first and only 15 of the group so far.
Yeah, it's already looking a little tight up on those top 3 spots. 2 porridge in the basement now. Everyone kind of on their resets. There is still time. An hour 15 remains.
And 2 porridge suffers at the wall. What we were talking about earlier, he just absolutely stuck on that corner. And like I said, half the time, like it doesn't even look like there should be a wall directly in your way. It looks like you're curving around all of them properly. But something about the way corner interacts with Mario just doesn't play well.
You gotta play the pixels. Too many pixels.
Right,
that's
with a nice elevator tour there.
Yeah, pretty good.
Would you take an elevator tour of a volcano? Because I would. I mean, if they implemented proper safety precautions, I think that'd be pretty lit.
Would I take that in like real life? Would I like?
Yeah, an elevator tour of a volcano. Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. That would be fun.
Well, that sounds lit, right? I think it does.
So, I mean, as long as there's a power star at the end of the day.
Right. That's the only caveat, right? You've got to have a power star waiting for you at the end.
Yeah. Maybe in the new Nintendo theme park they're opening. I heard there's one opening in America in the next like 3 years or something like that. They had that one open in Japan. That would be fun.
I think I heard about that, yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be so fun to get a group of Mario runners to go. Oh, man.
Ideas. Right now, Gamiru's got some ideas of pushing down this first place time.
They got some pretty steep pace going, but 2 porridge also is on a pretty solid run as well.
Yeah. Oh, taking a burn as soon as we talk about him.
On Reds, unfortunately, that's the star that you need to go right every time, and a second burn too.
Yeah, you do want it to go right every time. Bit of a mental block if maybe if you let it get to you.
Exactly. That's
go for it.
One of those like standby stars where like you want to not be nervous during that, so that you can go ahead and build up your anticipation for side hop or whatever other star that you're going to do next. But every once in a while, even those sort of stalwart stars that always work just sometimes don't quite work right.
Yeah, absolute focus is what you need here. Easy for the
We
mind to
get
wander
Gamir
on the easier
one more
ones.
star in HMC.
Looks like a really good pace here for Gamir. We'll be like a 10-4 exit, it looks like. Maybe even 10-3. Yeah, it looks like 10-3. 10-2?
Oh, yeah, 1029 HMC. Okay. We've got something pretty solid brewing up here. Let's see how Gamir handles the rabbit here, but for perspective, world records here, 9-minute time would be god tier run. So like getting a run that's about 30 seconds off of what a world record holder would consider god tier is pretty significant, I think, for a situation like this. Oh, but gonna blast right through the door, unfortunately. Pretty fast. Wow, that was a really, really fast back.
Come on, Gamir, just a little bit of time. Yeah, I got to the door. Shadow was like already gone. It was a little too far to the right. So not.
Yeah, I think he just hoped. He knew, like, since he'd already lost some time, that the best decision would be to just go ahead and go for it and hope. But I mean, okay, not dropping Mips straight through the door. This run is continuable, but that is going to cause some damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, was sitting pretty. Right after the stars, it can go so wrong so quickly. Going for a chip clip, making up some time. Wow.
There it is. Nicely done. Chipping right in there.
Yeah, straight through the wall. But we do see a lot of the time loss come after the stars are done. That's what we've been kind of seeing here at the tournament. It's like, I don't know, you got DDD with front step here. That, you know, that could always be something. Mips clip, Fire C, BLJs, like those are all like really big time losses over like small mistakes, like potentially, definitely. And then BLJs, you just never know.
It feels like being in Womps all over again, where every mistake loses you 10 seconds. And it's weird too because of like how different this part of the run feels from the star gathering part. Mips almost feels like the halfway point, even though like you're already 3/4 of the way through the run. Gamir yet again, just a little bonk.
Oh no! No, he can't get back!
Oh, I'm gonna bonk the wall twice, and that's gonna be a death and a reset on this run.
Wow.
12分6で
Was just a little off. Yeah, couldn't get back on. Got that missed the pole glitch and just jumped off. Normally it's fine, but when you those things are at such a height to where when you burn, if you're on your way up, you can just bounce right off of it. And you get stuck in this really weird spot where you just can't do anything. You can't get under it. You can't get above it. And it's it's just what happened.
Once you get stuck in that zone, it's so hard to make it back out and actually make it back on any kind of solid ground at all. Well, like, your kind of instinct would be, oh, let me just hold straight towards the platform, and the next lava bounce, I'll get back up there. But no, you bouncing away from the wall gives you just enough momentum that by the time you overcome that and start moving back towards the platform, you just bounce against it again. Like, it's a really, like, lose-lose situation once you get there. Now, Porridge here is also on a pretty decent run. I imagine this must have been, like, a high 10-3, low 10-4 sort of pace leaving HMC.
Yeah, had to be 11 minutes coming in here. Come on. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, had to been like a 10-3.
Slightly ahead of Gamir's attempt. That kind of demonstrates just how much time Gamir lost to Mips there.
Yeah, poor Mips. Had to open the door like twice. Opening doors is like 3 seconds each or something like that. And yeah, just not too great. 2 ports looking to pick up though.
And let's see, this camera angle is actually implying a rear sub attempt here. It looks like he's committing to it.
Yeah.
No shame or anything. I mean, this is the strat I would go for in this sort of situation. You want to just finish out this run as best pace as possible. I almost feel like this isn't Porridge's normal strat because, like, having to get right up to the fin, then jump, kind of shows some level of unfamiliarity, or maybe just he didn't like the spacing approaching the fin, but I really wonder if 2 Porridge made front sub, and that was just a decision of, I know that I'm on pretty good pace, I know I don't have a run on the leaderboard, I want to make sure this gets to the end on that good pace.
Yeah, I would imagine something like that was going through his head. And not a pole glitch again! How many have we seen?
Still very, very fast getting out of that from the back on at least.
Yeah, might still actually be on early cycle pace. Oh my gosh!
How did he survived that? Oh my, he got so stupid lucky with that. Two Porridge should be dead right now. Like he is a dead man walking, literally.
That was
I
nuts.
think what happened was he got sarcophagus so early that somehow Mario got entirely inside of that platform, and the game just decided, fuck it, I'll pop him up. And like,
Yeah, just right
yeah,
through.
normally you just get trapped down there and you don't fall back up. Like,
Yeah, it could have
I
been. It was moving away from him as well. That could have been part of it instead of like moving into him. I don't know. That two Porridge on the run still. Grace of God coming in.
yeah,
We'll see about this Bowser
that's
throw.
really some like.
I'm not gonna know. Two Porridge was on the run to Bop Gamiru.
The game must have had it in mind, like, okay, I gave him this really big save. I need to take some time away now. I need to punish him for that. Because, wow, that... What a sequence of events.
I smiled to cover up the pain. Cover up the hurt.
Right?
That was really frustrating, I'm sure, for Two Porridge. 13:45. This is like right at 16 pace, so it's still second place possible. Doesn't have a time on the board, so definitely good to finish this one out. Could be a very close race for second, as we're only 1 second off as it is.
Oh man, that'd be really, really wild if we get another run in that 16-13, 16-14 range.
We already have had to retime one of Cheese's matches against Flixer.
You know, let's go ahead and get the Gothic Logic DMs out, I guess.
Oh, Two Porridge not getting the first BLJ. Find something good here. And
Match there a second ago, but not quite.
yeah, might take him out of the second place running. Would need instantly right here as well.
There we go.
Yeah, as well as an infinite staircase.
Really, really nice lineup if you want to be able to get to that final hole.
Two Porridge catching and is through. Okay. Yeah, holding down there,
Nice.
very important. If you like get stuck there, that's how the runners actually get in that hole as well. They don't continue to BLJ. They hold down right before they like clip through. Get some speed.
Yeah, that Mario just enters a standing but sliding around state.
Just like LBLJ. But Two Porridge going for Manimo Cycle was about like 0.2 seconds off. Took the bonk. Does know the backup.
That's the big risk reward of going for Manimo. Just oh, and having to do that full wall jump is the worst if you've never practiced that before. If you're gonna be trying to go for Manimo Cycle, you gotta be familiar with that full jump back up.
You definitely do. Standing right side isn't good.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, it was nice that they were able to stay up there for the second attempt, but unfortunate. See, and it, gonna have to wait just a half a second for that little platform too. No real way to get over there without the arrow platform. And yet again, just a little bit too far on the right.
Yeah, it took that little clip. Okay, yeah, not great for Two Porridge. Could have been like finishing up right about this time if everything went perfectly. Still has to get into the Bowser zone. It can't get the right side. Should probably just look at the left. Yep, that's exactly what's going on. Standing left is much easier.
There we go. You could almost anticipate that last mistake on that last attempt on right side, because like the previous mistakes that they made where they fell all the way down, that was just from holding the upright too early. Wow, that Goomba had a vengeance. He really had some blood taste in his mouth. He was like, Mario? My little platform? Do something about that.
Can't do. He's got a job. Two Porridge has a job to do as well, nailing these throws and is sleeping on the job. Two Porridge has to finish this out. Looking at a 17. Got a nice on the board time.
More throw to solidify that board time, and there it is.
Nice,
it's not quite
quick.
what the board was hoping for, I'm sure, with a mid-17, but it's certainly improvable. It gives you a starting point. That's the important part.
Honestly, is pretty important to just get one on the board. It could help with some nerves. What was that? Was that 32? Is that what it? Yeah.
1732.
So hopefully we can see more from Two Porridge. Second pace, definitely possible. Get another pace just like that, and maybe not so nervous. Get a little bit more
Yeah, I
going.
think
We're gonna swap over to Cheese.
Sky
Kano's in the
definitely.
lead, but Cheese we have not seen yet, so I'm sure we'll appease some Cheese fans out there in chat.
Speedrunners
Give
that
me
are
your
way more
best
skillful
cheesy
and
mode.
achieve more in seeing things in speedrunning than he has. I think simply should have easily won it just for being
All right,
the actual
Cheese giving us some
speedrunner
commentary on the
of
side here.
in terms of skill and like time being competitive.
All right, if Cheese is gonna talk, I'm gonna swap over to Kano's audio.
Yeah, both players in their fire seas. I don't know. Finally getting a fast fire sea. We're going to be getting an ultimate cycle movement here. Nicely done. Makes the movement for the ending so much harder, and it barely even saves that much time from what I understand.
Come on, Cheese can still make the cycle. Yeah, okay, still good.
Nice save.
Sideways camera. Cheese falling all the way down.
That's why I hate that sideways camera. The depth perception is just impossible with that thing.
Yeah, especially with it already being like such a sliver anyway. Like you'd kind of jump on the slope part, and that sideways camera could just make that all the more difficult. Reducing
Yeah, and, like,
about half a second of lag, I believe, so that's why they go for it.
I backwards cam gang all the way. Saves all that lag, and it's actually still easy to use once you get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, it feels weird playing with Mario running towards the camera since you never do that, but like once you practice it for a while, it's so free, honestly. Another thing that messes with that strat so much is like half of that rail that's visually there, you can't walk on. Like if you try to walk on the upper part, like towards the upper slope, like Mario will fall right through, like what happened to Cheese right there. It's you have to pretty much stand on the rail with a save state in the practice ROM and just like walk back and forth to get an idea of the areas you can actually walk on. Like it's just really weird, and like the visual cue doesn't really help you very much at all.
Yeah, you do really have to know. Flat part, not so flat. But Kano getting these BLJs is in the pipe 1404. This is bop the time. Could go back to second, but I don't think it's. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 15 capable for sure. I was thinking 2 minutes. It's like a minute 20. Yeah, this is like such a good pace. I was wondering where he lost time. Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, like nice mid 15 capable. This is one that's gonna definitely crank the leaderboards up a notch and really make the first few positions really steep.
It will. Oh, taking a bonk.
Bonking before right side. That's a new one.
I guess like maybe it was too low on the jump or something. Got moving right. And oh, was in position, but snapped to that railing.
Hung up on that little fencing, yeah. Nice backup. He could have very easily just walked right off there. I think we're on pace here for a potential 3x.
I believe so. This would be a really good time for Kano to set. Really, like, well, this would be the bar that the runners go for.
Okay, that's one there. Man, I hate the way that he does throws with his camera, because like it feels like you can't use that camera to see anything, but he's so accurate. Man, just incredible throws.
That's, yeah, mid 3, it looks like.
With all the fights I've seen, when he went into this fight, I considered a perfect fight final time as being around like a 37. His fight was so fast, and he saved 3 seconds over what I would consider like a good fight for this sort of situation. Like Kano's built different for spins, man.
He is. You definitely, a normal runner will get like 43, 44 seconds out of there maybe. Kano making it super quick. Making it like right at 40 seconds is like pretty maximum. I think you can get under if like you're super good. But yeah, Kano really stretching out what you could do there. Von Gem, oh, almost looked like a little sketchy pillarless, but was able to pull it back. Haven't seen Von Gem on the main screen quite yet.
Yeah, and pretty decent pacer, especially getting through plus. Looks like that must have been a second attempt since this is his 6th star, but hey, nothing to scoff at still.
Yeah, not at all. We just crossed over the hour mark here. 39 minutes in. 1 hour remaining. Seems like a lot of runners are at least gotten on one decent pace. Von Gem and Cheese just getting theirs.
And we'll see how Von Gem handles Lethal Lava Land here. Let's see.
Good pace from Von Gem.
Lobbyers.
You can definitely see a lot of like
Just
similar
normal.
paces around SSL. Like you'll probably see like 5 to 10 second variants just from small stuff. But it really is, once we reach the MIPS, we start to see like the big variance in time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe a couple more mistakes on the stars. You know, second half stars are much harder. Von Gem taking a dive. Is this gonna roll up onto the stair? No, it's not. He pulled back. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the smart move there. Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought those
He
stairs
can
were too
throw them up
thick.
staircases.
Thick boys.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I've ever tried rolling out on them, but that would be my assumption, too, is that they're just too thick.
Von
It's
Gem
a little
just
surprising just how small the gap needs to be for a rollout to clear it.
on the pace,
Oh.
standing. I guess looked like a lineup attempt. I guess does get it.
Yeah, and side hop is one of those tricks that, at least in my view, it's so much easier moving than stopped. So definitely shout-outs for getting that stopped first time.
Yeah, if you can get that camera, get that nice angle, extra speed does help.
Oh, yeah. And, like, if you really fiddle around with things and pay the right amount of attention, you can reduce that trick to really just, like, turn from holding straight up to holding straight right at the right time, and, like, that'll set your nice jump angle. Like, once you mess around with and fiddle with that trick enough, you can make it very surprisingly consistent just if you've got a good sense of timing. Like with me personally, I don't even end up thinking about what I do for that star half the time. It just kind of, it's muscle memory at this point.
Yeah, that's a
think,
big part of it as well, the muscle memory. Like all these runners have like such practiced movements that it becomes automatic, and the timings become like so close to frame perfect that your spacing becomes extremely consistent, and it all just starts to line up right after that. You really start to get into the meat of the game, get that muscle memory consistency going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Von Gem, nice
Von Gem
reds.
going to be advancing to HMC. About 9 minutes.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Von Gem get a time on the board for sure. Would only leave Cheese. G-Porridge did have like an unfortunate bits. Got that 17:32. Was on pace for basically be second place. Move the leaderboard around a little bit. Quano does have the lead. 2 15s. Who will get the third? You have to imagine somebody will.
It's surprising to see how many runners are capable of getting such a crazy time in a consistent race setting situation like this. Von Gem having some significant issues with the box triple, but finally managing to make it go ahead and come out. That's one of those strats that, like, I really feel like that should be one of the last strats you learn, considering it's so easy to fail, and you have backup strats that only lose like 3 or 4 seconds by comparison. We've got Von Gem going ahead and picking up the Toad Star. Little fun fact for anyone that doesn't happen to know, in the world record level of all 3 of the major categories, 16, 70, and 120, you approach Toad in that room a different way.
It is like different every time.
Yeah, it's like until you sit down and think about it, you don't realize. But yeah, in 16 LBLJ, you approach him midway through the stage. In 70, you approach him entering the stage. And then in 120, you approach him leaving.
Yeah, let's settle down in chat, please. It is okay. We'll just enjoy the show. Keep moving on. We got Von Gem on the main screen. Can we get some cheers in chat for Von Gem? Give us whatever you got. I like to see all the unique emotes coming out for some of these runners. Von Gem gonna be needing it. Gonna be coming up to the MIPS clip here. That was a good boulders. 11:10. So I think about like 20, 30 seconds behind like the best pace we've seen here, but nobody's finished one out except for Kano on like, you know, that best pace. Even Kano had some mistakes. So right at 16 pace, I believe. Gunning for second place. A little left on the dive.
Yeah, and that dive makes things really, really consistent, but Von Jim just unfortunately a little bit too far over. Couldn't quite slide back over into Mips's trajectory.
All right. Oh, it was an off angle
Oh.
coming up to it. Camera
But,
strats.
his angle was a little too straight on.
Okay,
You can go ahead and
maybe.
just reset that one.
Yeah, looking at the time, was definitely gonna be cutting it close. You want to get in the top 3. So if you can't get like a low 16, these runners are looking to kind of just cut their losses. 52 minutes remain. Cheese on the main screen, I believe, is the furthest one. Actually, Gamiru is the furthest one. We will stay on Cheese just because we haven't had a lot of screen time, and we'll swap over to Gamiru when time comes.
Nice. Beautiful Tama from Cheese.
Did this person just say yikes for me failing?
He's got another day in the office. I mean,
I'm angry.
that's
Why
the
is
sort of
Japanese
strat
version
that
better for
Cheese
speedrunning?
and other
Depends on
runners
the
that have been
category.
around as long as them have just done
If you're doing
over.
75,
Oh,
then it's
Gamiru
just
missing
a
the
little bit
backup
faster.
on Mips. That's probably going to be a dead run, unfortunately.
Chasing him down. Oh, catches him right there, like a 120.
Yeah, that's a really, really good backup.
Let's see what Cheese has got here in the basement. That was unfortunate for Gamiru.
I hate the word yikes. It triggers me.
That's definitely going to be some time
Makes me
loss.
so sad.
Oh, and Gamiru, yeah, taking that
punches-
reset. Man, that's the second reset in like 2 minutes on Mips. Not taking any prisoners.
Rabbit just not at all
Doesn't
today.
comply.
Really does feel like sometimes Mitch just says, "I'm not gonna let any more runs through. Sorry, guys."
Every time, dude. One day I'll be able to do this.
Yeah, just a little
He's
too
gonna
far
take a little
up.
bit of a burn.
Yeah, if you're too close to the
Son
edges,
of a bitch.
Mario doesn't like to jump. Like if you're like right at the last pixel, you would think you could jump, but you actually can't. Like Mario just doesn't have enough flooring underneath him. I think that's just what happened to Cheese. A little too far forward.
The fucking cunt.
Breakdance.
Yeah. And one thing that's hard, like playing this game after playing a lot of modern platformers, a lot of more modern platforming games have
Dude, I'm so
quality of
bored.
life things like
It's so
what's called coyote jumping, where like if you put a jump input in, but you've been off of a platform for only 1 or 2 frames, the game will just let you jump because it's like it would kind of suck if you just didn't get a jump there. But like this game gives you none of those conveniences whatsoever. There's no sort of like coyote jumping. There's like very, very little in the way of buffering inputs. Like pretty much any modern quality of life enhancement that this game just says, what is that? What? It's a lot like Melee, where like the buffer and other sort of things like that are instead taken up by like
hope the
this
update
degree of
amount of
precision
time
that if
from,
you
like,
master
round
it, you
3
can do things
onwards, because
insanely
1 hour and
fast
40
that you could
minutes.
never do if there
This
was a
is,
buffer
like,
getting in your way. But the caveat is like if you
not even
don't get
close
those
to enough
timings
time.
exactly
It's
right, then you
crazy
don't
how
get
short
whatever
it
you
is.
want.
Yeah, kind
I
of
think it's
kind
way
of
too
going back to
short.
that movement
mean,
thing we were talking about. You can
I guess I understand it because
as
if
soon
you
as
have
the
multiple
movement
rounds,
becomes
you
really
wanna make
clean
it
and really
too long.
consistent, then you
So
you can
that's
start
probably
really
why this is
mastering the
bad.
movements and getting really good times, and everything becomes much
It's
more
also a dec-
consistent.
It's kind of cool though. At the
So
same
yeah,
time,
it's
'cause it really does
it's a lot of
capture
practice. Cheese doesn't have a ton of practice on 16
Because if
stars,
you
so
have
actually the
too
fact that
much
he
time, then
can
it
like
kind of
do a lot of this stuff with
because
consistency
whoever
is
has a better time
is
probably
pretty
winning.
impressive. Most of it already does anyway, as far as like stars go,
Like,
but
whoever has a better time,
BLJ's,
they're
Mips clip,
probably winning
even the bits
because they have
movement
more
is
time.
not the same.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're
It's just
comparing 120 star
it
to
actually
16
kind
star,
of
it's
is
a
a good
different
format.
type
I'm
of
not gonna lie.
optimization.
I'm just
Like
being
I
salty.
think there are very few cases where Cheese would have optimized a star in 120 as much as say Ouija would have optimized any given star in 16. Like with such a little length, you're doing as much as you can to squeeze every individual frame out. But with longer categories, you're obviously emphasizing consistency so much more that even if you are like the world champion at 120 star, you just may not be quite as good at like the leave no frames behind type of movement that you need to really excel at 16 star and get those insane times. But I do think that like a lot of that, like being a really great 120 runner obviously doesn't disqualify you from becoming a really great like top of the line 16 runner as well. And I think we're seeing Cheese really make the sort of adaptations he needs to make to be able to get those really, really insane times. It's just going to take a little bit of time of like, you know, focusing specifically on milking every single frame out of your stars in order to like start seeing the results.
Yeah, leave no frame behind policy. Definitely one that a lot of these runners have. We've actually got That looks Q and Fire Sea. We're gonna swap over. So many people in basement right now. Actually, pretty awesome.
Yeah, it really feels like basement's becoming the Wumps of this session, which is really fun to see. It's always a little bit of a pain when every runner in one of these kind of sessions is in Wumps.
Yeah, it is known to happen every now and then. Not happening here. Very nice. But that looks Q in the Fire Sea pipe around 12:30. We'll have a really nice exit time, actually. Well, should. I don't want to say anything too much. Alex Q, you got this, I believe. I didn't do it.
You got the throw.
I didn't do it. Okay.
Nice 3/4 spin.
I did that. That was me. I'm just kidding. That was good.
All the commentators' blessing. Pretty solid pace here. With some optimal BLJs, you could see getting into the bits entry at around like the 14-minute mark flat, and that would lead to a decently low sub 16. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, taking the ground pound
on a pretty decent pace.
Yeah, that's like the worst ground pound to take.
Yeah.
Right in the light, you get like extra lag, just free time loss. It's all good though. Extra luck for these BLJs. Ooh, just barely missed that first stair. Oh man. Oh, sorry.
Oh, not going to be a catch on that first run. Let's try again here.
Yeah, oftentimes if these runners barely miss the first one, you can kind of catch right after, but that looks cute. Not quite finding the spots. Oh, man.
Yeah, and it looks like he's having a little bit of issues with his mashing rhythm, too, every once in a while. Because I see a couple occasions where it looks like he's getting a 2 catch, but just not quite extending it all the way through. You've got to get like 4 or 5 jumps right in a row, and then Mario will have enough speed that he basically sticks to the staircase, and the rest of the jumps are really trivial. But, like, you've got to have that mashing rhythm dead on for those first 4 or 5 jumps.
Oh, come on.
And there we go. You saw there, he got like 2 or 3 jumps finally, but then dropped that rhythm just a little bit. And until Mario has a lot of speed, he's wanting to come away from the staircase very rapidly. And you've got to take advantage of that very short window that he happens to stick there. And yeah, just going to go ahead and reset that one. It's so unfortunate, but I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast with BLJs, honestly.
It absolutely is. And that's just really unfortunate for Zach there. And the more you do the BLJs, like the more tired your hand gets, like the harder it is to maintain that momentum.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, just like a bit of a spiral there. Happens on 16 star. Won't be the last. We got Kano coming out of Fire Sea. Cheese is also in Fire Sea. Did miss that first cycle I saw. So got the normal elevator cycle. 45 minutes left.
Let's see Kano's BLJs here. Absolute professional at work.
We'll see the difference. And that one, you saw he landed on the first stair there and was still able, even though he didn't clip on the first stair, then got it shortly after. It seems like just aiming for that first stair seems to be like just a nice pillar of consistency. From what I could tell, like seeing like all of these 16 matches.
Oh,
wow.
Instant catch right into the hole. But gorgeous movement there from Kano. And yeah, BLJs have been known in the community for years as this like pseudo random thing. Like we know theoretically they're not random. Oh no! Oh, that's tragic. Oh, what a way to end this one. That would have been a pretty nutty pace if he would have made that.
Might have been like, I mean, Kano's got the 15:34, so might have been like cutting it close to like beat that time. Cheese on BLJs did catch.
Yeah, and before Kano and his cast set up for that long jump, that long jump was effectively considered cast only. Like nobody bothered with that.
Oh yeah.
And like it's so crazy to see him still doing it, even though like he doesn't do this in 70, does he? Like there's no way he would go for a strat like that in 70.
Someone like Kano wouldn't put it past him, but probably not. Probably not.
I mean, at this point in this game's evolution, I really can't put it past anyone, but he just cannot quite get the land there. I'm not sure if he's trying to go for the wall kick or if he's just committing to trying to get Mario to fully clear the platform.
Dude.
I'm so rusty.
Okay,
I gotta
Cheese.
like, warm up.
All right, making his way through bits is on a decent pace here. Going for moving left side, not dealing with
Well,
the
not
moving
warm up, but I
right.
gotta just kind of practice.
As long as you
again.
get it.
I think that was it looked almost like a sporadic decision there, like a last minute kind of thing.
Potentially. Cheese kind of knows he needs the time on the
All
board.
right,
Is
okay,
15
this time's
possible?
Not bad.
It's going to be really, really
you know,
close, but
fuck my
second
ass.
place. Second place. All right, here we go.
I can't believe
Cheese.
this.
Is that going to hit? It does with the toenail.
Barely hit. Nicely done.
That was so close.
Yeah, Bowser not clipping the toenails.
Not
She's
bad.
pretty happy. We'll see. That's
Extra
That's gonna be
spikes on the
three.
I can't
bomb.
believe that first throw.
what's the
Nicely
time?
done.
What's the time?
All right, we take those.
Is it
Fitness
is
in
it six?
third
Is it
place.
15? It's gonna. I
That's
don't
gotta
know.
be a
Place, we need
15.
about like 15 seconds.
15.
Not even so much.
08,
Let's see, probably
09,
59.
59.
All right, yeah, third place.
Nicely done.
I think top 3 advances.
15:59.
Yes, Cheese top 3 does advance. A good, I guess a good time to maybe just tell everybody how the scoring goes. Top 3 on this leaderboard will
Right,
move
my average.
forward, and then the bottom 3 will
All right, we take those.
drop away. So you want to be on the top here. There was 99 minutes at the start,
Cool, let's go
and
again.
now there is only like right
We
at
got
42.
42 minutes left.
So 15:59. You have to have a 15 if you want to continue on in this tournament. You need one now.
Yeah, that's already such a high bar, man.
Look over to was it 2 Porridge in Fire Sea here. Just saw 2 Porridge kind of melt down a little bit in bits with that 1732. We'll see if he can pick it up.
And Porridge definitely at least has the room for another 16 here, so we'll see if we can get 2 16s on the leaderboard rather than Zach being left alone with his one. I think 2 Porridge was the runner too that had the near sarcophagus followed by the throne miss. So, and I think that was in the 1732. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
definitely cleaning a lot of things up.
Much time saved to be had on the second half. Gonna be about a 13:30 exit here, so really nice time. That is entirely 15 pace, mid 15. BLJs would have to be kind. We'll see. Yeah, everyone else kind of on their resets. I guess Zach is LXQ is in basement again. Good Tama. Ooh, is a little close to the center and takes that
yeah.
death.
Sucked
Ground
right into the sand vortex.
Yeah, there's only limited time to correct your angle on Tama. It does happen sometimes. 2 Porridge really far to the left. I don't
It's never getting through.
yeah, I don't know if he could have saved that or not.
Well, you know how to pull
Speed
far,
over like to the door, kind of like you would in like SBLJ or something. But that's gonna have that would have worked if he just would have BLJ'd for another like maybe like 5 or 6. As long as you can like initially get over that speed hump to maintain speed, that should work as well.
It just needs to hang by the door for a minute and got really lucky. It looks like he's staying right beside the door. And
No,
it's-
lost the
oh,
speed.
but I don't.
Wow.
The
That's-
door itself is a lot easier to clip through than the door frame.
That's so sad. And that's again like a half catch for 2 Porridge. He's just not getting the full catch. It's not early enough. Does finally make
Right.
it through.
I'm honestly shocked that was enough speed to build up anymore at all.
Yeah, it was just like right on the cusp 3 times in a row. It's the most unfortunate BLJs coming out from 2 Porridge. Infinite Staircase going a little better. Got caught up just a little bit. And right now, this is not top 3 possible, but good practice regardless. Can definitely get 1 or 2 more to this spot.
Without a doubt. Also going to be going,
Ooh.
making the long jump. That's insane. I cannot understate just how precise actually clearing that ledge with that long jump is.
Yeah, you have to like be inside that little like pillar as well. It like helps push you far enough so you don't have to like wall kick there. And that is like an extra cycle. 2 Porridge did not get like the perfect movement after that. So still got Manimo cycle. as a backup. Like, that's how fast you're going when you do that.
That's crazy. Gee.
All right, is in the
In the
pipe,
fight
16.
now. Barely possible. Let's see what happens.
Pushing down that event PB. We'll see.
Throw him really light. I mean, honestly, I feel like that must have been a missed throw. And again, with the really short throws, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Forge's stick there. There we go. Finally, a big boy throw, but going to be a little far left.
Yeah, I thought that was going to work. That is going to be the resets. A little frustrating. It is kind of hard to like really grind out the last bits of the run if you know it's like not on pace. You know, it can be a little annoying.
Without a doubt. And you're not focused at all on it either, since the pace is already dead anyway.
Yeah, time is ticking as well. You want to get as many attempts in there as possible. Ooh, come here!
Barely staying up there.
Kabir laughing it off just a bit. Yeah, Kabir takes this game pretty seriously. Yeah, he's definitely in it to win it. In it for the long haul. All right, we got Von Jim coming into basement. Gonna do SBLJ for us. Oh my gosh, did he just get it? Is this... No, okay. Goodbye. Almost.
At least he tried.
That's close. Von Jim with the Sag in chat. That was a good attempt. He actually got like the stair BLJ, it just didn't like catch on the wall. Alright, HMC time. We got Kano and Cheese, all three of our top three in basement right now. Other three trying to catch up.
Yeah, we'll see how much those runners are able to push those times down even more, because, I mean, Kano with a 15:34 can definitely improve that pretty significantly if he gets on a really nice pacer. And Gamiru especially in a really prime position to improve that 15:57.
Yeah, Gamiru and Cheese very, very capable to push that time down. We've seen 2 Porridge on pace out of Fire Seed twice now. We'll see what Alex Q and Von Jim have in store for us. Von Jim's been on pace, you know, once or twice. But that second half, you know, there's so much time lost to be had so easily. The stars they seem easy almost. If you're going for top times like this.
Yeah, and MIPS, one false move and you're losing 10, 15 seconds very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it especially gets exacerbated with Sky, too. With how vertical Sky gets and how easy it is to fall. Like, oh, man. And the nerves, too, really, really do have an impact. I mean, there really is nothing that can adequately prepare you for how different the game feels when you're on pace. Because, like, once you internalize that you're on good pace, like the game slows down. Like just straight up. The adrenaline starts pumping. You're more focused than you normally would be. And it starts getting in the way of a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised how much worse you play the game when you're actively thinking about every little move you have to make.
It gets very intense very quickly. And that's one of the reasons we're all such junkies about this game. It really is nothing quite like it being on pace, especially in a tournament like this. And you know these runners are gunning for it. You get to see so much concentration coming out. Gamiru, the jump is like just a little too big. Ran into the wall. But it does make it through.
Nice backup there. Right at 11 minutes for that DDD entry.
Yeah, just like that. Like I think he held A for like a frame extra too long and got a little too high approaching that door. Not going for the chip clip. Taking it nice and easy.
But still the front sub.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Gamiru go for it, so we know he does it. Going back to those, maybe a little nervous. Is on a super good pace. I believe the last one Gamiru got did lose most of the time to MIPS clip, so 15:57.
Yeah, we'll see how Gamira handles Fire Seed, because I feel like Fire Seed has been kind of a point of contention in a lot of their runs today.
Definitely has been a big one. Yeah, that pole glitch has not been coming out, but only a couple times. It's really been like a 30% accuracy. See what Kamir's got. Maybe pushing those numbers up just a little more. Up to 35% now.
Nice triple.
Like getting a good test grade after a couple zeros. Makes you feel nice. Ooh, doesn't get the rollout. Was maybe a little too early on the rollout attempts. Those elevators do eat your speed. So maybe it was a little late on the rollout attempts. Ooh, that's one too early, but that's fine. It's fine. Okay. In the pipe. Breath of fresh air for Gamiru. Didn't get the ultimate cycle, but got a nice, like, fast cycle. Nice zero cycle.
Alright, let's see, Bowser. No dance today.
Yeah, if you look over just to the right, Kano has gone through the MIPS door. And enters DDD sub 11. That's actually insane pace. We need to keep an eye on Kano here.
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive. Is Gamiru honestly on decently solid 15 pace?
Yeah. 1330. So, yeah, this is definitely Kano bot. This is like low 15, like pretty low 15 pace. And I'm pretty sure Kano's on a similar pace, maybe even better, right behind him. Oh, word. Here we go. Gamiru with the BLJs.
Go. That's not even going to bother with the last little set there. He already knows what's going to happen with those. Gets a nice catch there. Right through the hole. We're still in this. Let's see it happen.
Yeah, we're in it for the good time, too. Just a one failed BLJ here would not be the biggest deal in the world. As two catches right after that.
Oh, okay. Still going to stay over that barrier area.
Yeah, is up. Was super clean anyway. Has to be, satisfied with that at the least. We're looking at like 15-15. If everything goes right.
Looks like the elevator movement's going right first, at least. Let's see how this later bit of movement goes, especially with the wood blocks.
Nice. Moving right
Beautiful
side with the
there.
triple jump. Ooh, just on the corner, does get it. And that Goomba's in a horrible spot. Oh, gosh. Gamiru getting it done, even with that Goomba. That was literally like the worst spot the Goomba could have been in. Gamiru just swerving. Not even taking it safe. Didn't swerve the Bowser. Come on, Gamiru. That's not a side flip, but that is. But we need that tail grab. The nerves coming out. Just one more throw. That's two. Is this Kano bop? I don't think it is anymore, but it is a really good 15. That is not where the bomb's at. A little confused, I guess.
Wide right.
I don't know if that's where he meant to throw or what exactly happened, but that's going to be the third one. I think is going to lower the time.
On the table.
Yeah, 1557, 1559. Definitely want to spread that gap a little bit. 54.
He's all right. Yeah, Gamir getting a little bit closer to Kano. A little bit further away from Cheese.
Yeah, just under 30 minutes to go. You definitely want to try to solidify the best time you can. 1554 is a nice time. What is Kano gonna get right here? The timing looks amazing. Doesn't look like he's lost any extra time from when we last saw him. We'll see after he jumps into the pipe. But this movement looks good. Got caught up a little bit. That was scary.
Yeah, Yeah, nice backup there. I feel like it would have been easy to be tempted to try to kick to save yourself there, but like the decision to do nothing and take the ledge grab was so smart.
Yeah, Kano holding on. A couple elevator cycles behind, probably like 3 or 4 seconds. But the run is alive, and that's what you want.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, but it's certainly doable if anyone can.
I'm looking to bop that 1534. And he needs one more throw. Looks like a 15-2X if he nails it. And that's going to be a little ride to that hit. No, it didn't. Oh, man. I don't know if this is going to be able to bop the time anymore or not. That is the third throw. Doesn't have to break any of the platforms, so saves a bit of time on missing the throw. Could still get a better time. Oh, it's close. It's close.
Ooh.
30, 31.
I think barely.
Yeah, got that right at 33, almost 32. So actually, that is nice. With a missed throw, even could have been a 15-20. In a race, that's like insane. Kano has now had 2 runs, first place, above everyone else. But we'll see what Vonjim has to say about it on the main screen. All right, so we'll see what the timing looks like. Oh, okay, grabbing the extra life. Looks like he's just messing around at this point as he takes the reset. Okay, probably something a little tragic happened earlier and needed to be really clean. And that is what we're looking with on a 15-minute time. You have to be clean. If you take any kind of decent time loss, you're struggling. All right, but we got Zach here on the main screen.
Nicely done with that Talon Star. Got a lot of Wumps and Dark World celebrations here.
Ooh, doesn't land on the right spot. Quick backup. Sometimes meltdowns can occur right there. It is a little hard to readjust sometimes. Yeah, LXQ is definitely the one who's peering into that top 3. Currently standing at number 4. Only 25 minutes left. Now, these runners will have until the time runs out to reset. So we will see runs after this time runs out, but they will not be able to get any new runs going. So we'll see as the time goes down which runs they decide to take. Because once that timer hits about 10 minutes, you know, you're looking at your final run, 10, 15 minutes. Gotta start picking and choosing. Going for side hop. Very nice. A lot of the other runners, yeah, most on the reset. Gamir just jumping into Womps. Gamir's been on pace like so many times. Gamir, he's such a consistent runner. Honestly is. And also something to shout out. We have both Japanese runners in first place. And it is currently like 7 in the morning over there. Like 6 in the morning, something like that. So just the fact that they're here and up and playing as good as they are is incredible. So huge shout outs to them for just being here. Electric, is everything good? Do I lose you or something?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Just making sure.
Got Zach approaching the volcano here. Meanwhile, rest of the screen's got some nice Wumps and Dark World action.
Yeah, not much going on outside of this one. Keeping us company at least.
And we're finishing up Lethal Lava Land here. It'll never cease amazing me how like elevator tour and hot footer are so close in timing that it's up to you which one you want to use. Like it's I know that's a little thing, but it's just so wild to me that two stars are close enough in timing that you get to choose in a game where like the route has been set in stone like forever just because of like what's the most optimal.
Yeah, the fact that there's any type of variance and it's not just this pure robotic movement. It's such a good game for that. Yeah, good
And a
triple
nice
jump.
box triple from Zach.
Zach trying to make it work. So we'll be grabbing the toad. I'm trying to think about the time. It's around a minute once he jumps back in, I think, from when he's jumping out. So this is a nice 15 pace so far. Should be jumping out if everything goes well somewhere around like 10:30, 10:40, which is very much on pace.
Yeah, and only 14 seconds separating Zach from the third place on that leaderboard. So definitely a lot of pressure mounting to go ahead and get something really decent with some of these last few attempts.
Yeah, ooh. Able to make it up there. Did have a little bit of an awkward angle. Zach noticing. Didn't dive, just took the ledge grab. Good adjustment.
And that's a huge one too. Like backing down off of some really fast things like dives when you know that something's a little off.
Oh yeah. Just having that eye. Not always muscle memory, but yeah, you got that eye of this doesn't seem quite right. We'll just take the 1 or 2 second time loss.
Exactly.
Look at that. 10:33. I think the best time we've seen is like 10:20. So not bad at all. Very good pace.
Yeah, this is really, really solid. This is it with a perfect end game. This would be like a mid 15.
A good bunny grab right in front of the door. Yeah, we did see Kano like jump into DDD at like 11, just under 11 minutes. And I don't know what the HMC time on that. It must have been like 10:15 or something. Yeah,
something ludicrous.
Yeah, 11:10. So yeah, 15 seconds ahead of Zach for a MIPS clip. That was Kano's pace. So mid 15 capable. Kano did not have like the cleanest ending either. I think missed a throw. And I think there was like a couple other little slip ups. LXQ looking to make it happen.
Now XQ committing to rear sub here. I think just wanting to kind of make sure that they get that nice little pace a little bit further. Maybe the decision they're making there is I want to make sure that I get the substar right so that if full glitch gets messed up, it's not, at least I want to make sure it gets to full glitch,
Absolutely. All right, we'll see the pole glitch here.
There comes that camera angle manipulation at the start to get that angled like it's a little harder than it looks and kind of inconsistent. Very nice pole glitch. There we go from Zach.
Yeah, second half of the day coming in hot. First half was a little iffy, but runners have been picking it up.
Let's see how the ultimate ending here goes. The main advantage of pole glitch gives you a nice ability to end faster. But Zach's just going to go ahead and take the normal ending movement, just a little bit comfier pace than they were doing before, and that's totally okay. From what I understand, like, getting ultimate cycle, like, you not only have to get pole glitch, but you have to be very clean throughout.
Yeah, it's like basically like a pixel perfect type deal with those 3 rollouts on the slope as well at the very end. So I think you got 2, didn't get the third, didn't really go for it, and yeah, just took that more comfy ending. So no blame or anything, just wanting to finish it out, not taking any risks. Could have made it. Looked to be really clean. Not sure if he would have or not. But now under 20 minutes, 19 minutes remain as all the other runners look to get what could be their final attempt. If they start one right now, if they don't have to take any more resets, they will be able to attempt one more.
And then here's where things really, really get stressful because every little mistake just suddenly feels like, oh man, I just burned my last opportunity to have a good run. Especially like you really don't want to be trying to get out of lobby in those last 10 minutes because it's going to be almost impossible getting a run out of there with all the nerves you'll have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's
Ooh, Zach actually lining up on the staircase. Trying for the higher degree of consistency there, but still not quite getting a catch on his first pass. Oh, it's so close. Like, it looks like he was hitting the right spot. There we go. Okay, still in this.
Yeah, I did get through that door right at the end. A nice little zip straight through.
Needs to have a pretty immaculate sky, but I think this could potentially improve his position a bit.
Come on.
If nothing else. Oh man.
Yeah,
It's
made it
going to
through.
be close for the cheese bop if it even is possible, but I definitely think improving his own PB is still possible.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Jumping in at 14:30 would need to be really clean. But looks like it would be possible.
It looks like the normal full cycle is on the table, maybe. Yeah. And meanwhile, let's see how right side goes. It looks like, yeah, we're committing to right side. Oh, no, we're not. Okay. Honestly, the play here, I think, really. Like, I think this is the move.
Yeah, it needs to be consistent and knows it. Knows that if any kind of deviation happens like a Goomba, it could cause disaster, but Alex
man,
Cusack.
This needs to be a 3-throw fight. He's got the room for it, but it needs to be good. Let's see it happen. Gotta have those laser focused throws. Gotta pull out the protractor, pull out the speculum, whatever else.
Yeah, it does need a 3 for 3 here.
There's one dead on. Just needs that same exact lineup on all these other two.
Yeah, it's taking an extra spin, making sure he's getting
stuff. One more. Let's see it.
No!
Oh!
Was too early. Got too excited.
Too much anticipation. It's so easy to happen though. Gets that glitchy regrab though. Just narrowly gonna miss Cheese's leaderboard time.
That's it's so painful. And there it goes. There goes the time. The stars spawning is gonna improve his own, like you said. But still needs that 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Yeah. All it was gonna be by like 2 or 3 seconds. It was gonna happen.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what happens with that fight, and you can practice that fight as much as you want to. Nothing is going to be like trying to do that fight on pace. And what's even worse, especially about that third throw, is with all the platforms falling and all the camera shaking, you get lag during the throw. You have to somehow do the final input, meaningful input of the run during a lag spike. Like it's everything is stacked against you in that moment.
It really is such a like painful spot because of the lag. Yeah, you're on the pace, you're nervous, you know that you just have to hit these throws that are only like a few frames that you have to actually hit them. It's like a wall kick basically. Less time, I think it's like 3, maybe 4 frames, so less than a wall kick. I have like a really good throw, and it's yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's not much more to say. Alex Q having another shot though. 15 minutes to get a run going. It will be the last one, but has another shot. We got 2 Porridge on the MIPS clip. So I guess 2 Porridge is in the lead. Thought it was Kano. Just taking a look around.
We'll see what happens with this run for Kano, because this is some pretty decent pace still here too. But you know, with how optimized Kano's time has already gotten, he's really mainly just trying to get attempts into the late game to finally get a good late game attempt through. You know. Like, at this point, improving his time is really just going to come down to having a cleaner, like, last bit of the run than his actual PB here. So, Kano's in that spot where I think we're going to see a lot of these runs if we had more time, at least. We keep seeing more of these runs that have really good paces out of HMC, but just something tragic happens right towards the end game.
Yeah, it tends to happen a good bit. Cheesy Leech saying that throws are, like, normally only a 2-frame window. So, I was thinking 3. Wow. So, yeah, that's actually pretty insane. Yeah, that's not much time at all. I guess it's kind of like grabbing the bomb then to do like your, cage clips and stuff.
Towards the start, since you can use the medium mortal frame there, but like, jeez.
Yeah.
I never knew it was that tight. I wonder if it's even tighter in Sky because of how much further away the bombs are. I feel like that affects things too, because in Dark World and Fire Sea, they're not that far away.
All right, here we go.
Oh, and
Porridge
Porridge
not
there?
getting the ledge grab and
Oh!
taking the birds. He's through, but he makes it back up under the elevator. Oh my gosh.
That was so lucky. Gonna have to grab all the coins in that line, though. Gonna be doing
Don't take a
realize there's a little
burn.
bit of a mistake there. There we go. Very scary movement there to not take the burn, but 2 firsties for that sort of ultimate cycle movement. I don't even know what you would call that.
Yeah, the ultimate cycle ending type deal. Maybe preparing for throws. Get 2 firsties. No.
Yeah, if you can get 2 firsties, you can hit a throw, right?
Exactly.
And with the throw, you don't even have to deal with the depth perception.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball. We all know this. Same deal.
Unfortunately, not able to dodge that bomb, though. 2-4 is going to be advancing upstairs.
Okay, nobody saw this because it was on Kano's screen, but Kano got a glitchy walk kick and walk kicked off of the MIPS.
What?
It's not a
Oh
real
my
walk kick off
God.
of the MIPS. You're just like at MIPS and you do a glitchy walk kick and like you're like looking like you're kicking off the MIPS.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice trip flip, too, from Kano. Yeah, the glitchy wall kicks can sometimes just look absolutely absurd based on whatever the referenced wall happens to be in that equation.
Yeah, you're bound to run into glitchy wall kicks. You just like glitch, you walk kick in the complete opposite direction of what you want.
Yeah.
Bound to run into them. Oh, 2 porridge. Getting the BLJs. Has to like stay to the door. Stay to the door.
Ooh,
I thought it had more
it's
speed
gonna
than
be
this.
Close. There we go.
I was
It's a good thing
afraid.
they were able to stay next to the door. That'd be an extra like 3 or 4 jumps against the wall, at least.
All right, here we go. 2 porridge on the final one. Didn't get the insta clip. Was barely off and can't clip this time.
Come on, just needs to get that catch. It's the worst once you've got through that 50-star door, but then this one just won't work for you. Because fundamentally, this one should just come down to mashing a consistent rhythm, and you'll eventually get it. But and the slow get up, depress not quite registering.
Yeah, did get it in like one foul swoop there. This is not going to be 3rd place possible, unfortunately. It will be really close, like a low 16, and 2 porridge has a 1730. So maybe making a statement here. We'll have one more try, a little practice, perhaps.
Could be preparing for a late game and a slightly better attempt from lobby.
Yeah, you're already here. You might as well just run through. It's like a minute and a half, you know?
It's not going to make that big of a difference. It's not going to be the difference between you having one more attempt or not.
Yeah, it's like that's like 1 reset on the front home screen, maybe 2, like if it's super early.
Oh wow, that was a backup right there if I've ever seen one. Just kick the elevator platform to get back to the safe ground. That's the ballsy one.
Yeah, in the pipe here.
Porridge has the room to improve their PB, I think, by a full minute, so we'll see here. And I think, too, Porridge is kind of falling victim to not quite able to get the run together in the early game. Because it seems like they didn't really have that many occasions where they got through the late game here. But, I mean, that's sometimes just what happens. You just kind of can't get out of the early game. You just keep having one mistake in Womps or one mistake in Dark World or wherever else. One missed throw, but...
Yeah, I think that possibly is it. You know, just a lot of small mistakes. Didn't get bopped off the edge. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
but a bit short on that one. Not quite going to connect.
yeah. Little unfortunate.
You've got the lineup, just not the momentum.
Who else is on pace? Kamiru just got through MIPS. See what this time is from 2 porridge, and we'll swap right over. Yeah, 2 porridge coming out hot, but
17. Good.
yeah, like you said, coming out hot here in the late game. If he could get like some kind of like maybe 10:30 exit out of HMC, 10:40, you know, squeezing out a 15-minute time would not be out of the realm of possibilities.
Absolutely. Now, let's see Gamiru's front sub attempt here.
Yeah, coming into the DDD right at the exciting part. Very nice.
It's good. Nicely done.
Yeah, less than 10 minutes. Yeah, real quick, we'll go over the rules one last time before time runs out. Top 3 runners at the end of the session. These top 3 times on the leaderboard. The bottom center of your screen will move on. Currently, Kano, Gamiru, Cheese, top 3 positions. Von Jim's only one who hasn't finished a run, but has been on pace. With times, such as these, you have to make that time, work for you. And if you can't get it done early, you just got to keep trying. So Von Jim trying to make it happen, but could be the last attempts for all of these runners, and will be actually.
Ooh, Gamiru ultimate cycle. Let's go.
Yeah, I think Amir is the only one who could take a reset and still keep going. But yeah, they will move on. Top 3 times will move on. That's the timer. When it reaches 0, there will be no more resets. So we will see the completed runs, but they will not reset anymore. So kind of biding some time here at the very end. You need to really control it and keep an eye. So Cheese and Womps could be the last one for him. Sitting in 3rd is the hot seat. Definitely want to, get a lower time to feel more comfortable.
Exactly right. Because at any opportunity, anyone else happening to get just barely better than your time is going to instantly knock you out of further contention. That's got to be a not desirable position. So she's definitely trying to gun for at least one more decent run during this session here. While Gamiru trying for some good BLJs here. If we got some good BLJs, I think we really got ourselves a banger of a pace and potentially one that could DC Kano. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, of course, with the most inconsistent trick in this run. We'll just have to see what happens. Really lining up, not quite catching on those first few, but does catch there. That's going to be through. Let's go.
Yeah, nice. That's exactly what Gamiru wanted.
Yeah. Like, this is workable. This is totally workable. This isn't going to be setting any community sob, but this is absolutely workable for that PB. Has the speed, barely managed to get up there. I think he was sliding around a little bit towards the top of the staircase, but we've got a sub 14 bits entry here.
And this is first place possible. Could Bob Kano. The seeding is going to become important as far as where these runners are placed. I'm going to take their event PBs and make the semifinals, because this tournament's been like just a bunch of groups. And
Gamiru almost going all the way through with that, but managing to take a nice recovery there. Okay, there we go. The speed coming out that time.
Yeah, it's back on pace here. But yeah, don't want the same people to play each other like constantly. So swapping up the groups, their event PBs will matter for this next round. That's what we're looking at here as Gamiru takes on Kano for this first place. It is going to be possible.
Yep, barely 15-2x pace possible with a perfect fight.
Could possibly miss a throw if it's like the 3rd throw, but it would be make the time really tight.
Okay, that's one good. Let's see it. Oh, that's going to be good, I think. Yeah, okay.
Obama slightly to the right. It's a good throw. And that 3? It looks like 3.
That's going to be it. It is for Gamiru. Heck yes.
That's so crazy. 15-2x time here. Wow. Like, it destroys the previous event PB he's got. Stopped the timer. Did he stop the timer too soon? The timer did stop.
I wonder if the timer was out of sync for some reason, because some people's capture cards kind of lag behind a bit.
It's off the same screen. It's not different. It's the same exact thing. So I'm just gonna call it a 15-22, and because it did stop like 3 or 4 seconds early. It was definitely a 15-2. So let's call it that. I'll look it up if it matters later on, and make sure everything is solid. But GG's to Gamiru here.
It's gonna be hard for someone to get real close to that and make the tie for that one. But absolute GG's to Gamiru. And I mean, this is we have to keep in mind both Gamiru and Connor are both Japanese-based players, and they're both having to do all of this at what for them is effectively like 6 in the morning. Like, imagine waking up and like before you get your cup of coffee, before you make your nice bagel for breakfast, you got to pull out a low 15 as part of a tournament.
Absolute madman. And Gamiru, the one that stepped up to the plate and actually get it done. Kano, not far behind
My first
either
language is
with
English,
the
even though my
1533.
parents
Oh, I
could
forgot
easily
Cheese
tell
likes
me
to talk
Spanish.
a lot. So gotta not use his audio. But yeah, Kano is in basements. And as is Cheese. Both of them would love to gun for first or second place. Because like I said, I mean, we've had players like Ouija and people like them, just these top runners that get these like 15-2, 15-3x times, and it is going to matter. They are going to be really close as far as like the top seeds go for the next rounds.
Exactly right. But Kano's not out of this yet either. I mean, Kano is still on an attempt currently, has 3 minutes to choose to reset if he wants to. So, I mean, who knows? We have the potential to maybe even see Gamiru even get bopped, which would be ridiculous this late in the game, but you never know.
It's happened before. We actually saw a PB. I forget who it was, and I hate myself for forgetting who it was because it was so awesome. It was like a 15-4x. The runner had like just under 16 PB, I think. So PB by like 15 seconds and like sniped third place or second place away from Zine. And it was the final run of the day. It was fantastic. So yeah, nothing is off the table. You know, every run still counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Kano's audio, Cheese's gameplay.
It's close enough, you know. Burns and HMC, it's a
Yeah.
common occurrence, right?
Yeah. I mean, we would hear nothing but Cheese talk, and it would be a little rough. So he gets a little quiet once, you know, TDD and Fire C happens.
You just got to get through all the stars first to get that bit of calm.
Yeah. Cheese definitely really talented talker and streamer when playing this game. I think talks like the most out of most people and can just has the world record. Like out of nothing.
That's pretty indisputable. Yeah, he's one of the most vocal and like engaged with his chat throughout a run. Because this is one of the hardest speed games to really maintain a lot of chat interaction. Like you play Ocarina of Time, and like let's say you're doing Hundo, you have the whole Light Arrow cutscene to go ahead and talk to your chat, or at least you did before SRM. But like a game like this, you've got like maybe 5-10 seconds between each star, and that's it. That's enough time for you to like if you're not really adept at that skill, you've got time to like look at chat, read a message, maybe start to respond to it, and then bam, you're in the next star already.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell Cheese has made it an art. Like as soon as he finishes the star, his head will immediately tilt to the right. He'll go ahead and talk to whoever in chat, and then like as soon as he gets close to the next star painting entry, he'll immediately just refocus right back in.
Yeah, absolutely great streamer. As he's gonna grab the last star here in HMC. 10:45 is not the greatest pace you've seen here, but is definitely capable of getting a 15, lowering that 15:59. Want to make a larger gap between LXQ and that third place spot. That was good Mips grab right in front of the door. Yeah, I believe like Gamiru's
very,
pace.
Very nice camera.
Yeah, this is like 20
the
seconds.
The camera was just set up for him.
Yeah, there's actually consistent camera setup that a lot of runners have been doing recently. But didn't jump through the door, didn't drop Mips through the door, but still hasn't gotten through himself, finally. It's about 25 seconds behind Gamiru's pace, I believe. So, we'll see. Gamiru had a really nice ending. It'll have to be really nice. And that is going to be time. There will be no more resets after this. Let me call it in the chat. So all the runners can see.
Cheese is on one of these attempts where he's really just trying to strengthen his position at this point.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do. And he's a solid 26 seconds behind Kano.
And I do think Kano is definitely one to watch right now because this pacer is pretty decent. He just has one more star left in HMC, but overall, this one could have some potential too.
Yeah, a few seconds could be all he needs, forcing LXQ to really pull out this final run. So he's got LBLJ. LXQ was the one we've kind of been watching on pace for a lot of the day. And we'll get the LBLJ, so we'll have one more run going. Oh, Cheese takes that burn, that
Cheese taking a
sideways
burn
camera.
towards its ending.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out very well for Cheese. I'm surprised he's still going for it.
Like I said earlier, I really think the depth perception is even worse when you're trying to, like, kind of locate Mario, like, towards or away from the camera like that. It just, I don't know how anyone mains that strat and actually, like, finds it consistent. It's so hard to tell where Mario is on the pole.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Kano just got the punch grab Mips through the door. It didn't have to jump back through the door at all. So that's what that sound was, if anyone heard it. Might just be a little too quiet, but...
Yeah, and, like, for perspective, that's the sort of strat that I know Slippery Nip has gotten that and runs and deleted the gold over. Because, like, it's not consistent enough to even warrant claiming that that's, like, the best you've done that split.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent. It really is kind of like an RNG type deal. You might get it, you might not, if it's a really clean Mips. But that is going to be Cheese into BLJs. We'll see what the sound is sounding like right now from Cheese. Looks like he's talking directly into the mic, so we'll find out through BLJs. No way he can talk through the matching. We'll see. So he's coming up.
Ooh, he's got a first catch there. There it is. Going to go right into the wall, but still has enough speed to make it not too slow.
Yeah, up to this door. Needing one more. 14:20 the current time. Needs a good BLJ here. Oh, very nice, but has to get into the pipe.
Nice.
14:30, 14:29, so it is going to be tight. Needs a really, really clean ending here to bump up that time.
Okay.
All right, it looks like Gamiru will be our...
avoiding the amp, though.
Yeah, just barely. Gamiru is going to be our first one out, it looks like. Not going to be doing any more runs.
Oh my god, I was so close to feeling.
Kano getting through Fire Sea. Let's see what this pacer ends up being through BLJs, but she's going to be entering the pipe here. And just
All right, party.
here.
It's a chess party. See it in chat. 3 for 3 throws and bop down the time about 5 seconds here. Would also need clean regrabs. So that's one.
Just needs a couple more like that. There's another one. I think we've got a pretty good chance of getting these.
Yeah.
There's
Dude,
the
those
third
throws
one.
were sick.
Nicely done.
Would definitely be a goal, I
Those
imagine.
throws were absolutely sick, Cheese.
That was a
Congratulations.
sick ending.
Looks like you're going to get a 15:54-ish, 53 maybe. Yeah, saving 6 seconds. Last run of the day. GG's in chat for Cheese.
And like you were saying earlier, that's going to affect seeding, but also we've got a couple runners, both 2-4H and Zach, on runs that could potentially unseat this if they proceed pretty well through the end. So we'll really be able to see how well this run paid off for Cheese in just a minute. If 2-4H gets, like, say, a 15:56, Cheese is just going to have to breathe a huge sigh of relief that he actually finished out this run.
Absolutely. And yeah, it makes them a little less nervous about losing that 3rd place spot. Kano, this is so good. We didn't see like the BLJs all the way through, so I don't know the exact pace, but it was like right at 15 pace. It looked like coming out of Fire Sea. First place potential.
With Kano throws, I think that potential is even more likely than it would be with some other runners.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like there was some kind of slowdowns on BLJ, so pushing down the time he has by about 5 seconds like Cheese. We'll see if he can make it happen. So Gamiru looks like pretty solidified in first place with that 15:22. That might be the best time we have so far in the quarterfinals. Or through the whole quarterfinals. This is the last match of the quarters.
Yep.
Ouija had, I think, 15-2.
That was such an insane... How does he spin that fast?
I don't know.
Like, I just don't get it.
He's like, he sits there and he's like, he's like going at it. His life depends on it. Oh
Like he
my.
must have those gloves that Nintendo sent out with Mario Party for all the hand blisters. Like he must have those just as his hands. But 15-28, what an incredible ending! Like so clutch there to go ahead and pull off that improvement.
Yeah, go ahead and write it down before we forget, but probably we'll never forget the 15-2x from both Japanese runners today. Holy crap. They came to play. They came to play, and
I
it's like
think there must
8 in the
be something
morning.
to be said for playing in the morning. Like you must be fully awake and fully alert because it just like wow, these runners pull off some incredible like, and it's not just these two runs. Both Kano and Miru had some pretty incredible paces just throughout these sessions.
They absolutely did. It was all day too. They were just came ready to play, and they're just two massively consistent players. Like every tournament that they've been in, and even the last matches that they were in, it was the same deal. You just consistently get runs going, and it's that kind of consistency that pushes them so close to the top. Because after a while, I mean, you just have to get like really solid movement, right? Like it's only a matter of time. If you're playing well and you're getting consistent things going and you're not taking resets, you know, there's only a matter of time before it all starts to like line up. The more you do it, the better it is.
Only so many problems you can identify and start implementing solutions before eventually like those solutions start really collectively working and you start just like you said building in that better consistency and just getting further and further on those great paces.
Absolutely.
It looks like Von Jim is going to go ahead and give us a time on the leaderboard in just a minute here. About to be leaving HMC on looks like a low 11 pace.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Von Jim definitely finish one. Want to see all the runners, you know, at least finish one. I feel like they played well, and Von Jim has played well. He's just been up against such good talent that the good runs he's been getting have been a little outside of what is necessary. So it's not that he's been playing bad. He's just up against this incredible talent.
Exactly right. It's like I said earlier. Like all six of these runners are absolutely incredible. It's just like, you know, a couple of the runners here are that like true top tier, almost if not world record level contenders. So it's hard to like really put up an admirable fight against that. But there's such a huge gulf between that and like the very beginner level of runners that like it really. You would be remiss to not talk about how good these other like lower down the leaderboard guys still are. And Von Jim just unfortunately punching mitts a little bit too far away from the. They're just kind of pushing whips a little bit too far into the door. Now we got only 3. Oh,
Okay.
Von Jim going ahead and hitting the reset button there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Von Jim. I'll get the 2-player screen ready. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Von Jim. Not able to set the time. Just saw that he was too late and just not wanting to go for it. But GG's to Von Jim. I'm gonna see claps in chat. Some Drakes if you got him.
Absolutely.
Played really well. And we had our eyes on him like all day. It just wasn't able to get those like low 16 times that were necessary.
Yeah, and it's hard to like maintain good paces and like maintain composure and everything during sessions like this because the stress really mounts that pressure of like I need to get a good time during this hour and a half. So I mean, mad props for Von Jim coming out and putting forth a really good showing throughout all his runs today.
100%. Yeah, it was fantastic. We'll see these final 2 runners, see what they got. Really nice from LXQ here. Needs one more. They're both pretty synced up as far as, you know, where they are. But 2 Porridge is ahead on that time by about, 15 seconds, it looks like.
Certainly see some decent improvements here. Zach trying for that C up slide, but not quite working out. As swag of a strat as that is, like it can be really scary whenever it doesn't quite work right.
Yeah, it definitely can be. Alright, we'll see. Getting this going for you guys. I think that's right. Yeah, timers are correct. Oh, missing that MIPS grab.
Missing MIPS there.
Yeah, takes the pause. I think sees that he's the final one going. Wants to continue. But Two Porridge, we'll get that audio going. Really the one to watch on an insane pace. It's
11 2x DDD entry, not too shabby.
Yeah, it's 15 capable for sure. We'll see how close it is. It is going to be a somewhat high 15. I think, you know, Kano and Gamiru were getting in like right at 11, sub 11 to get those like 15 2x times. So 15-4, Cheese Bop, you need a 15-53 or better. 15-53 will get you a retime. And I think actually his time was like right at 52, so you might need a 52 if I remember correctly.
Got Porridge getting on through rear sub, now approaching Fire Sea. It's mostly going to come down to Fire Sea at this point. We've seen a lot of players have issues with hitting that early elevator cycle, and that's going to be a substantial enough time loss that'll really ding up this run significantly if he ends up missing that. So we'll see what Porridge is able to come out with here. Let's see. Movement's good so far. They're looking like I don't know if it's just they're doing different movement than what I'm used to, but there are a couple moments where it looks like they're delaying input slightly, almost like they're a bit nervous and like they want to make sure they don't do things too early. I could be reading too far into it, but I think we are seeing Two Porridge, you know, definitely feeling a little bit of this pressure here. Every other competitor gone, but Two Porridge is here on a run that could potentially make a significant difference here.
Yeah, if he could bop cheese here, that would be a massive difference in this leaderboard. Has a 1732, but that was only because the bits didn't go very well for him. So it would definitely
multiple falls on right side.
Yeah, so does need to get that little that he needs to work it out this run. There we go, and just make it happen. Definitely more of a tournament, a straight up tournament race here with this last one going. Time is up. All the other runners have called it quits.
You know, Two Porridge is one of the last team members in the Halo 2 lobby after Xbox Live shut down. Just playing for an additional month.
I just got to get better. I can do it. He can do it.
Look, guys, as long as none of us leave, they can't shut the servers down. Like, that was a real thing. Like, after Xbox Live shut down, I think it was like 12 people stayed on for literally a month afterwards. Just as long as they didn't leave, the game didn't end.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Two Porridge trying to do the same. Instant BLJ.
Catch on the BLJ. Going right into the clock. Oh, we've got some potential here. We got some heat here.
That we do. Oh, my gosh. Okay, second BLJ. Here we go.
Needs a stellar performance here. Come on. There
oh,
we go.
wait. What happened? Whoa, he dropped it. That's a wet dry world. Come on. You can't be doing this. Thank you. Oh.
I think that may have killed it. Oh, no.
It's yeah, about 120. Oh, my gosh. If he would have gotten that first one, it would have been like right possible, like 15-5x maybe. I think this is not going to be third place possible, but we'll let him finish it out. But this is a really great run for Two Porridge. 1732 was the time coming into this. And gets the Manamo cycle, actually.
Nice Manamo.
Slid right on there. But has raced extremely well. Gamiru with the raid party of 50. Thank you. We're just finishing up here. I will be doing 120 runs after this if anybody wants to stay and hang out. We'll chill, do that. For now, Two Porridge, center of attention.
Yeah, unfortunately missing right side earlier, but gonna finish this one out. Looks like it's gonna be like a low 16 pace, which is not bad at all. And definitely the sort of run that they were hoping for. Unfortunate that it came like right at the end of the session like this, but I mean, still getting a nice little leaderboard improvement. That's nothing to scoff at all.
Yeah, not at all. Got eyes on you and everything. Under the pressure. As this
beautiful bros. A little bit of an issue with that last regrab, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's gonna do it.
That was a super quick third throw. And a low 16 for Two Porridge. Gonna put him right next to Zaki as far as LXQ Zach. Zaki is like his Discord name, and I keep calling him that. But Two Porridge, 16-13. GG's in chat for Two Porridge. Claps in chat, Jake's in chat, whatever you got. please.
And then just look how competitive the spread was here. Like, out of the 5 finish times that we've got, they're all less than a minute apart from each other. Like, that just really goes to show how competitive this was and how competitive this group was.
Yeah, and it was very insane. I'll go ahead and just add this 16-13. So we have it up for everyone to see. But Von Jim, yeah, not finishing one. Could definitely finish like a 16-minute time. But I think the first run he got, that was about 16 capable, was about 30 minutes in. And Kano and Gamiru and Cheese were already like right at that 15-minute mark. And so Von Jim was taking the resets. Definitely a really great runner. Was the 6th seed, actually, coming in to this tournament in the first round. He was like one of the last seeds in his group and made it through, and then had a great showing here today. But needed that good time, so that's why you see a big blank there. Raced great. And huge shout-outs once again, Gamiru and Kano in Japan. It's like 8 in the morning. It's like an hour and a half ago we started this at like 6 in the morning for them. And they showed up for sure. But I think...
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you have anything else to wrap it up for this tournament?
I mean, this was an awesome session to go ahead and take part of, and I really liked it. It really felt like there was always at least multiple people in basement in the late game. Like, this was a really exciting session. There are always some where, 5 people are in lobby and Darkhold the whole time. This was definitely a really great group that really was able to get some nice pacers going throughout this session. That's always what you want to see. I'm just huge GGs to Gamiru and Kano for just the really, really incredible, like, high octane runs. And then Cheese as well for those really, really nice showings, especially that clutch finish towards the end there. And shout outs, of course, to Zach, Forage, and Von Jim for their nice showings today as well. And that clutch run from Forage was just a great way to close things out, I feel like.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm very happy with how today went. Great matches, great runners. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and shout myself out. I am the host of this tournament. I created this tournament. This is a format that is off of one that GSA and Break the Record had done as far as getting multiple attempts to get runs going. I've incorporated that into a tournament bracket, which is what you see here, and we have a bunch of groups going. I will get these times. I'm going to get all the times from all of these quarterfinals matches, put them on a list, give you the list, and then make the bracket based off of that. And that will be on Twitter. And I'll post that on Twitter and Discord. But as well, I want to go ahead and shout out the YouTube. All the previous matches are on YouTube, minus, I think, one of the quarterfinals matches that will be up like tomorrow, as well as this one will be up the next day. So please go subscribe to my YouTube. If you enjoyed what you saw here, it's been a lot of effort, and I'm also funding all of this myself. And you don't have to donate bits. You don't have to subscribe to my Twitch. That costs money. You can free subscribe to my YouTube. Watch those extra matches. Also have some other Mario content up there as well. So picking stuff up in that realm. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I would love to monetize YouTube here in this upcoming year. I think I'm at like 150 subs. You need 1,000. So a lot of work to do, but going to be making the focus. And hopefully you can help me with that. So please, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, however you want to keep up with the tournaments. I would also really appreciate the support, because without that, I can't do these. I literally can't run these events without your support. So please, I am once again asking for your support. Now, not financially, just in the following aspect, to follow the Twitter and YouTube. So that is all I've got. Thank you so much, Electric, for co-commenting with me. Please go ahead and shout yourself out as well. I know you've been looking into streaming a little more.
Yeah, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure co-commentating here. And yeah, if you like Mario and you like someone that isn't quite as good at the game, trying to get a 49 and 70 star, then go ahead and drop a follow over at my stream, twitch.tv/electric. I've been getting back into 70 star, keep having just kind of like, I'll grind it for a bit, then stop, then grind it for a bit, then stop. But I'm committed this time. I want my 49. I'm not leaving until I get my 49. Let me speak to your manager, Mario, and give me your 49, please. But that'll be the stream content for the upcoming little while. And of course, I make my way around different community tournaments and such. So definitely feel free to stop in and say hi. Should be live again tomorrow.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks again for co-commenting with me. This has been the 16 Star Showdown hosted by me, Markinator99. I hope y'all enjoyed, and everybody have a good night.
Peace.
16 star, you ain't gotta go far. About 15 minutes from there to the start. I got invitationals for the skills of the stars, and I'll invite you too if your skills are on par. Ouija.
Oh, that was so close, but he's got it. This is Manimo Cycle.
Is that cheese?
It's less than a second. She should have it though.
Green Sweegie.
Green Sweegie to first place.
Where's the competition? Don't you see they're in your spot? Go up there and take it.
That is, if you can.
I'll invite all the top players and entice upcoming gamers. Come along, all you spectators, and 6-4 no emulators. I don't mean to be exclusive, but the lag is so intrusive. Players come to test their skill, but that's a mountain, not a hill. You'll have 99 minutes to complete your objective. Defeating Sky Bowser, yes, of course it's effective. Reset every run or beat every single one. Please come enjoy all the fun. There's still time, one more last run. Gamiru and Kano came all the way from Japan.
He's gonna clip again. Oh, we got a first.
We got Benji 2 and GTM.
Didn't catch there. Goes for pass long jump.
Is that slippery?
That's a close throw, but he got it. He got it.
If you wanna see them bleed, 16 stars is what you'll need. It's the showdown of your life. Sit right there and watch the strife. If you watch and do not run, it will even be more fun. All these gamers going at it will make you into fanatics. Got world records and performers. Save the frames and cut the corners. Lots of money on the line. Better hope you're in your prime. Sit right there and watch the screen. A few quick stars, all we need. Don't mess up or over squeeze. That's a ground pound. Mario, please. It's a 16-star showdown. I invited everyone. You better not miss it. Now who's ready to play?